Hey guys, we are back and continuing our deep dive into the psychology behind disagreements. Today we're going to find out why we shy away from voicing our opinions and how keeping the peace could actually be tearing us apart. So last episode we talked about how our beliefs are formed and how they evolve over time. So now I want to dig into what happens when those beliefs clash.
Do I have to have a reason? But all your friends will be there. I'm not.
Chuck, don't talk with your mouth full.
Are we more likely to stay quiet and silently disagree, or hash it out? In the short series An Incomplete Education, a father and his daughter are likely the last two people alive on Earth. They depend on each other for survival, but there is this elephant in the room that they can't seem to address, and it's affecting their ability to work together.
You might have to finish reading those books on your own.
Yeah, well, the books have done enough. I have other questions that need answering.
Then ask.
Where's Mom?
She's dead, you know that.
No, I mean, is she around us? Sometimes I think she is, other times not so much.
We obviously like this idea of discussion between faith and science. It's one that's been going on for decades and decades. We want to tell stories that, again, hit at the heart of maybe hard conversations, especially when talking with a loved one. You know, it's often most difficult for people to feel like they're disappointing a parent than almost anyone else, right? And so as Rachel struggles to kind of confess to her dad and worry that she's going to let him down.
We don't really answer questions. That would be wrong. That would not be the movie anybody would be interested in. But to get to the questions, I think we live our lives just kind of pretending like they're not there.
So, what happens when you put people with diametrically opposed beliefs into the same room and make them talk? The YouTube channel Jubilee is testing this hypothesis constantly, and the view counts on the videos speak for themselves. So, what makes these videos so popular? Is it because they offer conversations that we want to have, but maybe feel like we can't?
I think people should vote for what's in the best interest of them, and I don't think that skin color should dictate on what your interest should be based on skin color.
I will vote for the best person that is running. And so far it's been, in my situation, it's been Republicans, conservative Republicans.
So many of our real-world interactions revolve around the dinner table.
Mealtime is a time for pleasure and relaxation. It's the best opportunity the family has to talk together.
Every Thanksgiving, hundreds of articles pop up with advice on how to deal with family. Across the board, these articles all agree that controversial topics are a recipe for disaster that not even grandma's mashed potatoes can save. I'm going to flag some people down and see if I can get a sense for what these topics are and maybe why we don't bring them up at family gatherings.
At your dinner table at home, are there any topics that are off limits that you maybe don't bring up?
Making dinner conversations more comfortable. I think this is an art that is being lost.
Is there any topics that are sort of off limits in your house? Politics.
Lesbian, gay relationships, for example.
For the most part, I think it's just race. I'm in an interracial relationship.
I would not mention politics.
In the public sphere, disagreements are pretty aggressive. People don't have a lot of patience or a lot of time for others who don't agree entirely with what they say.
So we're becoming less practiced at coming together with people with whom we have little choice to be around. We can choose on social media and in regular life to kind of engineer our social network to be just people we agree with.
What do you think it's like online? Would you think that sometimes you're maybe more brave to speak your mind, or maybe you'd be more free to speak your mind in person?
Online is easier to speak on. You're hiding behind a screen, so you can say whatever you like, really.
I think a lot of times when we disagree, it's an instant friction, instant I don't like you.
There is this tension in the room, the elephant in the room. Somebody needs to address it, but it's who's going to have the courage to do so? I probably will be that one.
All right, I might ask these people. Excuse me, guys. They couldn't even say no. They tuned me out that hard.
We're gotten to a point where it feels like if you don't agree with 100% of what I think, then I have no time for you, or I'm going to cancel you, or there's no room for a conversation, or why should I even spend any time at all having this conversation?
So many people want they think that they're going to talk you into their way.
Yes.
It's cool to like coexist with someone who's a Trump supporter versus this supporter, and there's more of the friction and tension than the just coexisting part of it.
People are so rooted in their beliefs as a form of their identity. Like, if you disagree with my belief, then you are invalidating my existence. It's that kind of emotional reaction.
If you really believe that you want to know why someone believes something, you first have to get them to tell you their true beliefs. So if you actually want to know why some people endorse white supremacy, you have to make those people feel comfortable telling you that they are white supremacists and why they believe that.
Dad, I have a confession I need to make, but I need you to really listen before you start formulating responses.
Do I get to hear it otherwise?
No.
Then I promise.
I pray sometimes.
Making those dinner table conversations more comfortable probably does have a lot to do with decoupling that disagreement from my acceptance of you as a human being. I would say it's almost like a muscle that you need to actually exercise in order to have a civil disagreement.
Thanks for watching. In the next and final episode, we're going to talk about how to exercise that muscle and hopefully find some solutions on how we can disagree better. See you then. If you're interested in watching the short series An Incomplete Education, the link is in the description box below. See you next time.